I am so excited to speak to our guest today. She is a PA that's in the Washington, D.C. area and has been in the aesthetic industry for over 14 years. Please help me to introduce aesthetic injector Danielle.
Hi, Jonathan. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here and chat with you today.
Yes, no, for sure, for sure. I'm so excited to ask you so many questions. Let's get into it. Hi, my name is Jonathan McLean, and I'm the founder and CEO of McLean Aesthetics.
Welcome to the dark side.
Let's go. So Danielle, you have been in the aesthetic industry for 14 years, and Botox was only really invented around 20 years ago. What are some things that you see nowadays that you didn't see back then? And how did you get in?
Sure. So, like you had mentioned, I got into the industry. I graduated PA school almost 15 years ago. I definitely have aged myself by saying that. Luckily, I work in the industry, so that helps.
You look great.
Well, thank you. I'm trying. So, right out of PA school, I accepted a position with a plastic surgeon in Buffalo, and that's where I went to PA school. So, I was very fortunate to get into the industry at a time where it wasn't as saturated as what it is today. The field has definitely grown over the last 15 years with regard to different injectables and also different types of laser treatments. So it's definitely an evolving field, which is exciting at the same time.
Nice, nice, nice. And was it hard for you to kind of find your first job, or tell me a little bit about that?
No, it actually wasn't. I'm very fortunate that when, before I even took my board exam, I sent my resume out to pretty much every plastic surgeon and dermatologist in the Buffalo, New York area.
Wow.
And I was very, again, fortunate to be able to land a position where I had on the job training. I had different injectors coming in from the different companies, and then also trained by the plastic surgeon that I was hired by. So it was actually a very easy process getting into the field. Whereas in today's industry, I can see that it's much more challenging.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. I get so many calls from injectors, and they're always like, "How do I get in? Like, where are the steps?" Like, I don't know. There's no like specific path to kind of getting in this industry. What advice could
Right.
you give to someone new that are looking to get into the industry?
Yeah. So it is very challenging. The tough aspect that I do see is offices want the experience, of course, from a safety perspective and also results. But how do you get the experience if you can't get your foot in the door? So, what I recommend for anyone that reaches out to me is to really try to network with different injectors in the market, connect with them, see if there's any sort of shadowing opportunities, because the courses themselves, there's 1 or 2 day courses, that is not going to cut it. You really need to have that on, on the job training, the shadowing, so you start to get that experience. Because with this industry, it is, the repetition, the experience is really crucial.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree 100%. Did you start off by building a portfolio? And do you suggest that providers build a portfolio?
So I didn't build a portfolio in the sense of, I guess, what it specifically.
Like before and after pictures, as
Okay.
your technique goes on and kind of show?
So at that time, 15 years ago, there wasn't social media necessarily. I mean, yes, of course, websites would showcase some of the work. However, it wasn't like how it is today with Instagram and Facebook and how we're, showcasing our work. I would recommend at this point in time, of course, and I've had to do that as well, because patients are looking for that before and after. They want to see the results, the natural results. So I think it is very important to have that portfolio. But again, at the time when I started, I didn't necessarily have to do that. Yes, we would have the before and afters in the office themselves, but there wasn't this huge demand on social media.
Yeah, no, I can definitely understand that. Now, I wanted to speak more about the Washington, D.C. area. Tell us a
Sure.
little bit about the aesthetic industry there.
Yes. So there's definitely a high demand for the aesthetics in this industry, or in the industry, in this area, I should say. So again, being an ever evolving field, there's different treatments on the market. So there's a high demand. And I think with the increase in social media, younger individuals are now looking to explore whether it's lip filler or Botox or laser resurfacing. So there's definitely a huge demand in this area for sure.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Now down here in South Florida, I see a lot of like the Sculptra and the radius,
Mhm.
in the buttocks, or now they're putting it in the body. Is that something
Right.
that you're seeing in the DC area, or is it something else that's trending?
For other areas of the body. Yes, I definitely see a demand for that. However, it's not as common as what we see for patients focusing on the face, the neck, the hands first. So I would say those come first, and then the other areas tend to follow after a patient is introduced into the office.
Okay, nice, nice. It's nice to see, like, I always like to see like what's going on in different areas, right? Because in
Sure,
South Florida, things might trend this way, and then you go to New York and customers want different things. So it's always cool to see
sure.
what's going on.
Yeah, and really, in this area, there's a lot of business professionals in the DC area, so they definitely are looking for more of that natural look, where a less is more type of approach.
I can definitely see that. Is it important to have like a global perspective of aesthetics?
Yes, absolutely. In terms of different ethnicities and what their preferences, I think that's very important. So, for example, I have a lot of Asian patients that will come in and they want non-surgical rhinoplasty. So, I think it's important to stay up to date with what the individual preferences are for different ethnicities.
Yeah, 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 for sure, for sure. How do you set patient expectations when you get, I guess, different patients?
Sure, absolutely. So when they come in, I do a thorough exam. We talk about what their preferences are, what they would like to improve. And I really stress realistic expectations on what we can accomplish non surgically. What's great about my office is we have everything under one roof. So we have the injectable side, we have skincare, and then we also have in-house surgery as well.
Mhm.
So if I ever feel that a patient is not ideal for injectables, then I send them over to Dr. Batar, who does the surgeries.
Wow, that's really cool that you guys have that option, because I know a lot of patients come in and like, can I get this done? And realistically, it's not going to happen. But
Right, exactly. And so, for example, a lot of patients will come in and they'll ask for filler for the under eye area for eye bags. So there, it depends on the anatomy, but they may not be a good candidate for filler, where it can actually end up looking worse. So that's where I can refer for consultation over to Dr. Batar, and he can discuss maybe lower blepharoplasty or upper blepharoplasty. So we can really make a good treatment plan for excellent results.
oh, amazing. Now, I've been seeing on Instagram a lot about the needle versus the cannula topic. Tell us,
Sure.
what's kind of your view on that?
Sure. So I prefer the needle, to be quite honest with you. However, for certain patients, when I do jawline contouring, I do prefer the cannula. I think it's great for yes, for less bruising using a cannula. However, that's not always the case. I don't see much bruising in my patients with the needle. Um, I think it depends on injection technique as well. In terms of a vascular occlusion with a needle versus a cannula, yes, it can be safer with a cannula. However, it's not a guarantee. So every injector has their preference. I just feel that I get very precise results via the needle.
Nice, nice. And I heard you mention vascular occlusion, and I see that a lot on Instagram. People are always like, you got to have a great protocol. That's the
Yes.
thing. Can you explain a little bit about why a protocol is so important in this industry?
Absolutely. So I think with the increase in social media, there's it's maybe looked at as a non-medical procedure with regard to injectables, when in fact it is. There can be true emergencies with injection of fillers. So you want to make sure that you have a crash cart, so to speak, of different modalities that are going to help reverse avascular occlusion. So, for instance, we keep aspirin in the office, we have nitropase, we have hyaluronidase, so that in the event of an emergency, we catch it right away and we can help manage that potential complication. So absolutely every injector needs to have that crash cart.
Yes, yes. Now I heard you mention that there's kind of like a stigma that it's like fun industry and some people might not take it as serious. Why do you think that stigma is?
Sure. And so, I when I graduated from PA school, I went through all of that schooling, all of that medical knowledge. And now what I'm doing, it's more, it's the beauty industry, but it's still that medical procedure. I think with the increase again in social media, it tends to give the appearance that it's definitely a fun field, but it gives the appearance that it's a non-medical type procedure. So I think that's where a lot of this comes from, that it's more of this kind of beauty, fun, foo-foo kind of stuff, when it really is a true, these are true medical procedures.
Yeah, I do a lot of studying on the market and I see so many stories when people are like, part of my face has fallen off, or, it's serious things that can happen if it's not taken serious, if people aren't putting the education to work in to be the
Right.
best. Yeah.
Best approach is safety first, conservative, natural approach. Less is more in my eyes, where a patient can always come back. We can add more safe filler, but we never want to overdo it where it risks, it could potentially cause a complication for a patient.
Right, right, right. That's why you shouldn't price shop.
Absolutely. Things happen when you price shop. There's a reason for that. That's what I always drive home with my patients. Things happen, unfortunately. So you want to research your provider versus pricing.
Yeah, 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 for sure, definitely. Let's talk about more so about marketing, right? So a lot of
Sure.
people use social media a lot to get their clients. YouTube, I've seen some injectors use YouTube a lot. What is your preferred method? What works best for you?
Sure. So when I graduated almost 15 years ago, I never thought that I would need to be expanding on social media. And be quite honest with you, it was kind of frightening for me to start putting my face out. I definitely, it's made me step out of my comfort zone. But this is where patients are looking for their provider. So for me, it's doing fun content, but also educational content. And then also those before and afters are really important. So a patient can look at my work and say, okay, this is my preference for what I'm looking for. But social media, unfortunately, it's the way of now and the future. And that's how businesses are growing and how patients can find us.
Yeah, no, I definitely can agree with that. And also Google reviews. I've been seeing a lot of people boosting their business with Google reviews. How big are to get reviews from every patient?
So it can be very challenging. However, recently in our office, our amazing social media manager implemented a system where we are now gaining more of those reviews. If I have a patient come in and I say, how did everything go last time? Tell me about your experience. And while they're numbing, I'll say, hey, if you can just go on Google, post a little review, we would appreciate it. And they do. And it's really, it's heartwarming to know that what we're doing is life-changing for them, boosting self-esteem or confidence. But those reviews are definitely very important, so other patients can feel confident as well.
Yeah, no, I can agree 100%. Like some people don't like I see a lot of like mental connected to this because like how you look on the outside definitely has an impact on how you feel in the inside. Um,
Absolutely.
I think there's definitely a connection there.
Absolutely.
Nice, nice. Now I know we talked a lot about safety, and I wanted to speak on conferences. What are some conferences that you could suggest to the audience, and how big is continuous education?
So continuing medical education is huge, especially in this industry, because again, it's constantly evolving, and from a safety perspective, we want to make sure we're really on top of what we're doing. My favorite is the Aesthetic Extender Symposium, which is actually offered in South Florida, I believe in August, September. So I have attended that conference maybe 8, 9 times now over the last 15 years. And it's excellent every time because they go over different protocol or different machines that are coming onto the market. And most importantly, safety. That's huge for me, is to make sure that I'm staying on top of what I need to keep my patients safe.
Nice, nice. Yes. And I've been to the AES also, a really
Oh,
great.
wonderful.
Is machines a thing right now? Are there some great machines on the market that you like, or?
So our office just recently purchased Morpheus.
Oh, nice.
Um, so we have not officially started offering the service yet, but that is up and coming for our office. We're really excited about that. We definitely see it trending on social media. I'm seeing a lot of excellent before and after photos. So I'm really excited to see the new technology with regard to the microneedling aspect of that treatment.
Yeah, down here in South Florida, I see it at almost every office, and if not, they're getting it soon. I just think because so many celebrities are trying, and just like in the industry, you like the results, everybody are loving it.
Right. And then it comes back to, the social media, the celebrities promoting different treatments. So again, that's where patients are seeing different treatments coming onto the market. So we really need to, stay up with what's new and trending and delivering results.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that 100%. Is there anybody, it could be on social media or just like in general on the news, that you would suggest that the audience can follow to learn more information about aesthetics and things of that nature?
So, I really love the staff that go to the Aesthetic Extender Symposium. I think every individual that goes and teaches at that conference is excellent. So I would say a lot of the staff that go to that conference, to follow them, follow injectors or providers that are showing natural results, conservative. I think that's really important in the industry.
Awesome, awesome. Now I've seen you have your own skincare line. Let's talk about that. It looked really cool. I'd love to learn a little bit more about that.
Sure. So ever since I was, a teenager, I've always had the passion for skincare. Um, not makeup, but more of the skincare aspect. And I think that's probably why I got into the aesthetic industry, because I've always had that passion. So in 2019, I became a certified skincare formulator, and I launched Layko, which is my skincare line. It's vegan. It's not tested on animals, which is very important to me because I'm vegan. The organization, or the company, also gives back a portion of proceeds to Fantastic Friends of Western New York, which provides services for individuals with autism and developmental disabilities. So
Super
it's
cool.
yeah, I feel, good giving back to the community too.
Super cool, super cool. So is it like the whole range? Like you have moisturizers, and is it everything or?
It's not everything at this point because it takes a long time to develop those products, put them through stability testing, and then get them on the market. So it's not, I definitely anticipate it growing. It's just, it takes time to be able to develop those excellent products that are going to deliver results.
Yeah, no, it's super cool because there's so many, I think, products on the market that are just like not really tested, I feel like. And I could see you put a lot of work into this.
Yes,
So I got to try it myself. I'm always looking for something new. It's cool, for sure.
excellent.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me and speaking more about the aesthetic industry. Tell everybody where they can find you and what you got planned next.
Sure. So my Instagram handle is Danielle Augustino Aesthetics. I'm also on Facebook. I recently started a TikTok as well. So I'm trying to grow on these platforms. But I work at the Batar Institute in Fairfax, Virginia.
Awesome. Sounds good. Sounds good. And until next time, goodbye.
Thank you, Jonathan.